in the prodding of little children to elderly women in wheelchairs and making us think that we're safer because of this. It is impossible. I think it's there to intimidate us and make us compliant and listen to the government. This is what happens when you move from freedom to a tyrannical state. They want you to obey the government instead of obeying your own hearts and your own mind, your own property. But the Patriot Act certainly was a big problem for us, but it's still ongoing. You may have heard that the National Defense Authorization Act was passed. And I'm very impressed that you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm convinced you didn't hear it on evening news, so you must be getting your news someplace else. But this is a very, very piece of legislation. It passed in the Senate and the House. The President gave us a Happy New Year by signing it on New Year's Day. But the real wicked part of this, it changed our history in many ways because civil laws should always be enforced by civil police and local police. But now it is institutionalized, it is codified. It says the military now can arrest any American citizen, put under arrest, no lawyer, no charges, no trial, can be put in prison indefinitely. This needs to be changed. We will not be living in a free society in the republic because it will be used. They don't write these laws not to use them. One year ago, the president announced, he had somebody come to the Senate, and he came and announced, he says, well, it is now the policy of the United States that we can assassinate American citizens. I mean, where does he get this power? Where does he get this power? Where does he think he gets the power? But we cannot let this stand. But to prove his point from his side, he's already used it. He's used it 3 times. He picked a guy that he decided was a bad guy. He may well have been a bad guy. His name is al-Awlaki. He doesn't live here. He's an American citizen. He was in Yemen. But he wasn't charged. He wasn't tried. He wasn't arrested. But he was assassinated because he was associated with bad people. But he was never convicted or even accused of a crime. So they get him. They kill him, and nobody's going to worry too much. But the next week, they decided that he had a relative that was an ally of his, so they said, we need to kill him too. So they went over and they dropped another drone missile on him, and they killed his son. It turns out, though, his son was 16. He was barbecuing out in the backyard. This is not what America is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the rule of law, and we all are supposed to be... Our economy is not going to be revived until we come to our senses. We got into a mess because we spent too much, we had too much debt, we borrowed too much, then we printed too much, we regulated too much, and then we depended on the Federal Reserve. But when the crisis hit and became obvious, and of course it was predicted by many that it would come, the bubble finally burst, and guess what the solution has been? Spend more, tax more, print more, and continue to do the same thing. And then they wonder why they're not getting good results. We have to decide whether we want to have a free market economy with sound money, a gold-backed currency, restrain the Federal Reserve, and restrain the Congress from spending money. Yeah! Cut the budget by $1 trillion. And now people get nervous and they say, oh, if the government doesn't spend $1 trillion, won't that weaken the economy? No, it's going to help the economy, because to spend it, they either have to inflate, which hurts us all, or they have to take it from the economy and spend it. And I've met a couple politicians, and I've met a few bureaucrats. They don't have any idea how best to spend your money. Only you know how to spend your money.